Hello and welcome to Vidigya. So let's start with our daily analysis of the Indian Express newspaper, followed by the Hindu, dated 9th of February. So the first news, which we'll be discussing on the first page, is hijab protest spread. Karnataka government shuts colleges, high schools for 3 days. So as this particular issue, which is ongoing, and this is creating a major spar in the Hindu and Muslim community in Karnataka. So now the current Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri Basavaraj Bommai, who is on a visit to New Delhi, had announced that there will be shutdown of schools and colleges as this protest is ongoing. So that's why for 3 days these schools and colleges will be off. Right, and apart from this, there are apart from this news, there are nearly it has been seen in 3 to 4 districts in Karnataka that this particular issue is soaring up. So that's why the administration has taken this particular step. And this has been seen that a particular faction, that is Muslim faction, regarding wearing of hijab, this issue we had already discussed in our earlier analysis as well. But this issue, this is getting widespread, even in some editorials, even in some opinions. We are studying about this particular issue. And as I told you, that especially in terms of southern Karnataka, this issue is rapidly widening. So that's why it is creating a communal harmony problem in that particular region as well. So that's why Shri Basavaraj Bommai has taken this step to shut down schools and colleges for nearly 3 days so that this particular issue can get resolved at the earliest. And the High Court, who is already been there, who is working towards, and who has already made that we had already put a stay for the same, and will give the decision on Wednesday, that is today itself, that whether are we going with this, or will form a separate committee who will look after this particular issue which has been going on. So this particular issue has sparked or initiated in the Udupi village in Karnataka, wherein it has been seen that there are a few students, few children who had of a Muslim community, they were barred from entering schools and colleges over wearing of hijab. So that's why this issue has initiated, and then we had seen that Karnataka government has also supported this particular move. So that's why it has been seen between the Muslim community and the Hindu community. There is a widespread spar. It has been seen between in some of the districts of Karnataka state. Then High Court appeals for peace will go by constitution. So this has already been, as I told you, said by High Court that they had already said that to all the people of the Karnataka state that it's high time that in current situation all the people who are the fellow members of Karnataka, they should maintain peace and tranquility in the state, so that this particular spar which has been going on can be solved at the earliest. And they had said that we'll go by constitution, whatever the constitution says with respect to that, will go, and we will adhere to that particular guidelines. So apart from this, the those people, the advocates which are supporting this particular thing, and those who are opposing, they already had made their points clear. And Justice Krishna S. Dikshit, he had already made this thing clear in the court that they'll follow whatever the honorable judges will say. And Mr. Kamath, who was there on the part of those people who had been said to not enter the schools and colleges, they had said that it is not right on the part of the state that they are taking such steps. And this is not the first time that Karnataka Assembly or Karnataka government has taken such step. Earlier also we had seen in the year 2017-19 that such steps had already been taken. Then on the right hand side, this news I had not highlighted, but this news says is PM sharpens attack. Urban Naxals captured Congress thought process. So this news, as this particular address of a president already been done. So we had seen that 100 minute speech of our honorable prime minister in the Lok Sabha, and then followed by an 85-minute speech in Rajya Sabha, wherein he had talked about the way Congress party is working, and it's becoming quite difficult for them even to survive in the coming times. And the PM has create a bold remark of saying if Congress were not there after independence, then a lot of things like poverty, widespread unemployment, all these problems which we are facing in the country right now will not have been the case. So that's why I have not highlighted this news, and you need not to make notes regarding the same. But as we had discussed about the Lok Sabha speech, so that's why I thought we will discuss about this Rajya Sabha speech of our honorable Prime Minister as well. Then Hyundai Rao, India expresses displeasure. South Korea regrets offense. So as this issue, which initiated on 5th of February, wherein the Kashmir Remembrance Day has been remembered, so-called in Kashmir. So in Pakistan, so that's why we have seen in the Pakistan Hyundai team has on different social media platforms has talked about the statehood, the brotherhood thing. So that's why it was widespread opposed, especially in India. So those companies, especially KFC, Pizza Hut, all these companies who had supported, they have also apologized. And even after that, our External Affairs Minister, External Affairs spokesperson, Shri Arindam Bagchi, had already contacted uh, the South Korean company, and the South Korean company had also mentioned that they have also said a strong displeasure, as said by India, and they have also said that they had regretted the offense. So that's why all these companies, including Hyundai and other companies who were earlier in support of the same thing, they had made a serious apology for the same. Then Kerala High Court upholds ban on channel, denial of security not justified. So this news we had also discussed in our yesterday's analysis of Explained, wherein a news channel by the name Media One TV, whose license was not extended or whose license was suspended or cancelled by the Ministry of Home Affairs, right, on 31st of January. So that's why this whole issue went to court. Then now the Kerala High Court had upheld this particular ban, that this is not the authority which has been envisaged on the part of the Ministry of Home Affairs or the INB industry, that they have the authority to put a ban on a particular TV news channel. Okay, this news we had already discussed. Okay, this is about the upcoming elections as we had discussed in the 5 poll-bound states. Tamil Nadu adopts bill against NEET sent back by governor. So this news earlier in the month of September we had seen that this Tamil Nadu NEET bill which had got passed in the assembly, then the governor of Tamil Nadu got changed from Sri Banwari Lal Purohit to the current governor Sri R.N. Ravi. And recently we had seen that R.N. Ravi has not given the nod for this particular bill, but now we had seen that again this particular bill has been backed by the governor, and this has been unanimously passed in the state legislative assembly through a special session of parliament in the state legislative assembly in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so now we come down to the editorial page. So the first editorial and the second editorial, both are talking about the recent budget, wherein in the first editorial is talking about, or has been written by Sri Sushil Kumar Modi, who is a Rajya Sabha member from BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, and who was earlier a Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar as well. And the second editorial has been written by Mr. D. Raja, who is currently the General Secretary of CPI, that is Communist Party of India. So in the first editorial, if I tell you, it's talking about all the pros which are there, which are part of the recent budget speech or the budget announcement, which has been made by our Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. And vice versa thing is happening in the second editorial, wherein the author is criticizing the way this whole budget, is focusing more on private sectors rather than focusing on public or the issues which are at general, especially with respect to agriculture, with respect to providing employment and other job opportunities as well. Okay, so first we'll discuss the first editorial, then followed by second editorial. So the first editorial is talking about that this government or the recent budget speech was a commendable speech which has been given by our honorable finance minister as per the author. And in that particular budget speech, our vision is of not at the rate Azadi at the rate 75. Rather, we had gone a bit more further, wherein we had focused upon India at the rate 47. That is when we'll be completing our 100 years of independence. So we are working towards that vision. This has been said by the author in this particular editorial, and the author has emphasized on the fact that the amount of capital expenditure which has been put it in, that is nearly more than 35% if we see from the previous year budget. So that is a landmark achievement that government is emphasizing and putting in so much funds with respect to capital expenditure. And if we see the overall revenue of the government, that is nearly 1%. So according to the author, if a country or an economy is spending more and more funds on capital expenditure, this is not the case. Yes, this increases the expenditure or the overall expenditure of the government, but still the amount of benefits which the government avails, that are for longer. So this has been stated by the author in this particular editorial, that rupees 100 spent on capex translate into rupees 245 for increased economic activity, and uh, the cumulative incremental return is rupees 480. So this has been said by author that if 100 rupees is spent on capital expenditure, then it will fetch us nearly 480 rupees overall. So this particular move of increasing of capital expenditure in this particular budget will eventually helps in creating more and more job opportunities, helps in creating more and more sustainment of the economy because of this COVID-19 situation. So this has been stated by the author, and the author has also stated about the recent scheme of which has been announced in this budget of providing a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crore to respective states for the development with a interest-free loan for 50 years to the states. And as our honorable finance minister has already stated that more and more states should come forward, should move forward in order to avail this facility of taking a loan of rupees 1 lakh crore for development in the state. So all these things, especially the recent reforms, especially the recent schemes like the PM Gati Shakti, wherein we are focusing upon roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transports, waterways, and logistics. All these prominent sectors, which are eventually or which will eventually help in development of infrastructure. So the author has stated emphasize on that as well about the recent policies which are there. Apart from this, the government has stated or in this budget, this has been said by author that the way in terms of providing basic amenities like housing and drinking water, education. So the budget has also, put it stress on these things as well. So this has also been mentioned by the author in this particular editorial. And the author has also stated that nearly 80 lakh houses will be provided. Apart from this, 19,000 crore has been provided to PM Gramin Sadak Yojana. So all these will eventually help in creating a robust infrastructure in the country, right? Especially in the rural economy as well. Apart from this, the recent steps which has been initiated by the country with respect to budget about digitalizing the economy, especially going for 5G rollout at the earliest. And apart from this, going for a new battery charging station, which has already been mentioned, like the e-passports, Kisan drones, digital banks, setup of new 200 TV channels. So all these things will eventually help in creating a more robust infrastructure for or which will eventually help in technology based. So that is the need of the hour if we compare it to the other nations. And the author has also talked about the recent reforms, especially with respect to especially with respect to banking reforms, because banking reforms will eventually help in because the recent statement which we have seen of the uh, our honorable finance minister as well that though we have seen this pandemic kind of a situation, but still now we are in a position to handle this pandemic, and this is this will eventually helps in creating more and more job opportunities. And even after 2 years of seeing this pandemic situation, our banking structure or banks are able to sustain at a very great pace, seeing the current pandemic situation. So this has also been stated in this particular editorial. And the author has emphasized on the recent reforms which has been taken by the government, especially with respect to Atmanirbhar Bharat Vision or the PLI scheme, production linked incentive, wherein the government is emphasizing on the fact of domestic production, right? Especially in textile sector, automobile sector, all these, especially in drone sector as well. So in all these sectors, the government is providing more and more subsidies, more and more incentives, so that more and more people join this particular forum. Right. And apart from this, the recent 2 lakh crore additional credit which will be provided. So, if I tell you the crux of this particular editorial, the author is talking about the way this budget has been presented. This will eventually help in creating a more robust infrastructure in the country, not only physical infrastructure, but even in terms of technology and other sector as well. So, this has been stated by the author in this particular editorial. So now we'll see a contrasting fact about the budgets through this second editorial, wherein the author in this second editorial, who is a general secretary of CPI party, who is saying that this recent budget, which has been announced by Honorable Finance Minister, is uh, is not at all concerned about employment, about agriculture sector, and this is especially going to create more and more problem situation, because now a lot of MSMEs are already hardened by this COVID-19 situation, and still the government needs to rather focus upon giving a boost up to those. But this has not been the case with respect to the recent budget announcements. So this has been said by the author in this particular editorial. Right. So the author in this editorial has talked about the recent reforms, especially the government needs to focus more and more on agriculture sector. So which was not the case. The government has not focused on the rural development. Right. So this has been stated, especially in terms of Manrega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. The overall corpus has been reduced by nearly 25% in this particular budget. So this has already been stated, also been stated by the author. And apart from this, the author has also talked about the Oxfam International Report, which has said that if we see the current situation, there is rising inequality in the country. As per even the World Inequality Report as well, we have seen that this government is working more and more towards the rich industrialists rather than focusing on the poor households, which needs the help at this current point in time. But this is not the case with the government. And the author has also quoted that the number of Indian billionaires grew from 102 in 2020 to 142 in 2021. Means those people who are billionaires, they have increased in the recent year ever since this pandemic situation is there. So according to the author, this government is working more for the rich families. Rather, more and more taxes needs to be levied on these rich families. So this has been said by author that if 4% wealth tax on these 98 rich families or richest families in India, then will be in a position that our Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, they can sustain for nearly more than 2 years. So all these things have been stated by the author in this particular editorial. And the author also stated about the midday meal schemes and other schemes which have seen a cut in terms of overall corpus which needs to be put in. And even the author also talked about a recent, surge in terms of, because we are seeing a pandemic kind of situation, but still the amount of the amount of funds which needs to be put it in on the health sector, that was not the case. Rather, because according to the author, we are still in a pandemic kind of a situation, and cases are increasing. But still, this was not the case, and the health infrastructure needs to be focused more rather in this particular budget. But this was not the case. So this has also been stated by the author in this particular editorial. And the author has also cited the recent ASER report, that is Annual Status of Education Report, wherein, as per the report, it is a finding that children of age 6 to 14 currently not enrolled in any school. So this has also been raised by the author as a concern that this is a problematic situation, that the government is not focusing on this sector. So this will eventually creates more problematic situation in the country, because it's been nearly 2 years that schools are shut down. So immediate steps needs to be taken with respect to same. So as through this particular both these editorials, first and second, wherein the first editorial is talking about the pros of this current budget, and the second is criticizing whatever has been stated in this particular budget. Then the first opinion, that is motion of attack. PM speech in Parliament betrayed irritation over questions and the opposition. So as I told you that in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, after the president's address, this we had seen that our honorable prime minister has made a speech of nearly 100 minutes and 85 minutes respectively. So in this particular opinion, the author is saying that on the second day, that is in the Rajya Sabha speech, we had seen that our honorable prime minister has criticized the Congress party and the leaders of Congress party, and according to the author, this has been stated by the author that all these member of parliament, especially the opposition and even all the member of parliament, they represent a particular locality, particular locality, this area of development. But if this is the case, that PM is saying that the way Congress is working, the member of parliaments are working, they're opposing each and every issue. So all these things are going to create more and more problematic situations. So this has been stated by the author in this particular opinion. And even the authors also talked about the recent steps which has been seen, especially with respect to Tamil Nadu, wherein this incident has also happened of India's CDS, Shri General Bipin Rawat ji as well. So this has also been stated, and even the recent comments which has been made by the government, what we are seeing about the Tukde Tukde gang. So all these statements has been made, and even the words like urban Naxals. So the author in this particular opinion is criticizing the way Mr. Modi has made speech and trying to criticize the Congress party, which is the opposition party, he has single-handedly taken opposition party, especially Congress, regarding the recent steps or recent opposition. Whenever, as per Mr. PM, that whenever any bill is coming with respect to favoring of the country, but it has always been seen that the opposition parties, especially Congress, trying to criticize that particular event. Then second opinion, curbs on press, threat of cancelling accreditation, intrudes on right of free press, attempts to shrink space for dissent, it must be withdrawn. So this was about the recent incident, what we had discussed in the first page as well, that the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, they had cancelled the license of a particular Malayali channel. So that's why the author in this particular opinion is trying to say that uh, there need to be put more and more curbs, but still it must be withdrawn. This is not right that because the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting is not authorized to take such steps. So, but still we see such a kind of things happening, and even the government is taking such decisions. But as we'd already discussed, that the Kerala High Court has already put it in a stay on that particular thing. Okay, this we can skip. Then on the world section, diplomatic shuttle, Macron in Ukraine after Putin talks. So as this Russia-Ukraine conflict has already been going on, and we are discussing it on a daily basis. So this we had seen that France is trying to, trying to mediate in this issue. Earlier also we had seen that Mr. Macron, Emmanuel Macron, had met the Russian president, Mr. Putin, in person as well. And now Emmanuel Macron had also met the president of Mr. Zelensky of Ukraine as well, so that he's trying to mediate and trying to solve this ongoing dispute, which is going for more than nearly a month. So that's why he's mediating. And on one side, Russia is there, and they are also quite proactive. And on the other side, US-led NATO nations, including Ukraine, is there, which are wherein there is a boundary tussle which has been going on between these two nations. Yes, on the explain, the first explain is talking about the China-Russia relationship. So this kind of a news we are discussing on a daily basis about the relations. Earlier also we had, in the explain itself, we had discussed about the China-Pakistan relationship after the statement which has been made by Sri Rahul Gandhi in the parliament. So this is about the China-Russia relationship. So as these Beijing Winter Olympics had already been initiated on 4th of February in the Beijing in China. So at that event opening ceremony, what we had seen leaders of leaders like Pakistan's Prime Minister, the uh, President of Russia, along with the Saudi Arabia Crown Prince. So all these senior leaders were present of the international forum to that particular country, that is China. So in this particular explain, this has been explained that why the China-Russia relationship, why it is at its peak, wherein both these nations, because both nations have their own aspirations. And if I talk about China, it's trying to become world power, so that's why it's always been against the USA. And in the current situation, because of this tussle between Russia and Ukraine, there's a widespread conflict between Russia and USA as well. So both these nations are opposed to USA in the current situation, and even in order to counter China, or in order to counter USA, all these nations like China and Russia had to come together. So this has been stated in this particular explain, that why these countries are putting, because these are having their own diplomatic relations and their own advantages, which or own aspirations which they need to follow. So that's why we are seeing that these countries are becoming more and more closer. But this creates a problem for India as well, because earlier also we had seen our enemy, that is China, who has always been even the recent incidents what all we had seen. So it's going to be quite a problematic situation for India as well, that how they are going to deal with this particular situation of rising influence or rising relationship between China and Russia. But our forces, our defense forces, our diplomatic officials, they know how to deal each and every situation. So through this particular it explained, it has been stated that earlier we had seen that between China and Russia, tussle has been going on, and even in some some even UN resolutions as well. We have seen that both these countries, they stand apart, or they have not supported each other. But still, in the current at the current onset, we have seen that China is seeing diplomatic boycott of officials from in the ongoing this Beijing Winter Olympics, and Russia is seeing this conflict between Ukraine. So so that's why all both these countries who are facing a direct tussle with US are coming as a more and more better friend in this particular situation. Okay, this we can skip. So herein we end the discussion of Indian Express. Now we'll move forward to the Hindu newspaper. Okay, so the first news on the Hindu dated 9th of February is Haryana cabinet not for anti-conversion bill. So earlier also we had seen a few of the BJP ruled states, they had already initiated this anti-conversion bill with respect to conversion of especially with respect to Hindu community. It has been seen that some of the communities are trying to convert especially Hindu women. So that's why in order to make that recently we had seen states like Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, all these states had worked towards anti-conversion bill. So now Haryana under the leadership of Sri Manohar Lal Khattar. So they had also given the cabinet has given the nod for anti-conversion bill in the state. So it was this is not the new thing. Earlier also we had seen an indication of the same that Haryana government is working towards going for this an anti-conversion bill, and now they had started working towards this particular bill. Then on the right hand side of this news, posts on Kashmir are unacceptable, said by government. Jaishankar speaks to South Korean counterpart. So this news is about, as we had already discussed, the ongoing dispute between or the recent remarks which has been made by Hyundai Pakistan. So already we had seen that these posts are External Affairs Minister Sri S. Jaishankar and our External Affairs spokesperson had already had a word and already made formal statements with respect to the South Korean their counterparts. In this news, we had already discussed Congress is in the grip of urban Naxal, says Modi in the Rajya Sabha, his speech, Honorable Prime Minister's speech of nearly 85 minutes. Okay, this we can skip. Hijab Saffron Road turns violent in Karnataka. So this is about the ongoing dispute which has been going on, ongoing conflict in especially Karnataka. So as we are already aware that 3 days, uh, you know, already it has been declared by the Chief Minister of Karnataka regarding shutdown of schools and colleges, and he had urged the management, the institutes, to remain shut down for 3 days so that this issue can get solved at the earliest. Then Tamil Nadu Assembly readopts NEET bill. Move marks a historic first. The bill was earlier written by Governor R.N. Ravi. So now in the State Assembly, it has been seen that Tamil Nadu Assembly has again readopted this particular NEET bill, which has already been propounded in the State Legislative Assembly as well. And recently we had seen that when it goes to the current governor, Sri R.N. Ravi, then the R.N. Ravi has returned this particular bill. So now unanimously it has been the NEET bill has again been passed in the State Legislative Assembly of Tamil Nadu. So on similar lines, NEET is discriminatory. The first editorial and even the first opinion is talking about NEET, how important is NEET, and why the government has initiated this NEET bill, and how it has helped. Even if we see the earlier situation as well, how the Tamil Nadu government is working even under British rule, it has been seen. So the author himself, Mr. M.K. Stalin, who is currently the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has talked about the way constitutionally the way Tamil Nadu government is working not in the current situation, but even he talked about the earlier examples as well. So this is not right of the recent step which has been taken by the governor, but again the bill had unanimously been passed in the state legislative assembly as well. So it has been seen that ever since, according to the author, ever since this BJP government is at power at the center, they are trying to influence the governors in the state. So that's why it creates a problem in the state as well. This has been stated by the author in this particular editorial. So this is going to be a big challenge, but both these both these opinions and both these editorials is talking about similar lines that need the recent controversy between wherein Shri R.N. Ravi had stated that he has returned this bill to the Speaker of the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly regarding taking it back, and then again a special session has been held in the Tamil Nadu State Legislative Assembly, which has passed this particular bill unanimously. Okay, so next news which we'll be discussing is Ministry renews FCRA note for PHI, PFHI. So this is about the recent controversy what we are seeing, especially now. This is about Public Health Foundation of India, whose license has got earlier cancelled. So now the ministry, that is Home Affairs under FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, has now renewed the FCRA license or registration of PHFI, which is a Public Health Advocacy Group. This is all political. We can skip this. Okay. This is about the current COVID situation in the country. Active COVID-19 cases hover around 10 lakhs. So, if we see the current situation in the past 24 hours, we had seen overall daily caseload of nearly more than 70,000 cases with states like Kerala, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. They are seeing the highest number of cases in their respective states, with Kerala recording nearly 30,000 cases for the past 24 hours, followed by Maharashtra with nearly 6,000 cases, and Tamil Nadu with nearly 4,500 cases in the state. So the overall active caseload with the current situation, if we see, is nearly around 10 lakh cases in the country, the active cases, right? Okay. Then on the world section, Macron sees a path to ease Russia crisis. In Kiev, the French leader says Putin told him that Russia would not be the source of an escalation. So, as we had discussed this news earlier as well, that Emmanuel Macron is trying to mediate in this particular situation, the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So, he had already met the French president had already met the Russian president, Mr. Putin, and now he had he had a meeting with his counterpart of Ukraine as well in order to solve this dispute. And he has already stated this thing that the French president has said that I already met the Russian president, and he is not in any sort of mood to escalate the issue. He's of the opinion, rather, with the support of USA and all these NATO nations is there. The Russia is of the opinion that it will create more problematic situation in order to resolve this particular dispute. So even the his counterpart, Mr. Zelensky, has also said that the Ukrainian president that they also wants to resolve this dispute at the earliest, because even they don't want that any sort of war kind of situation happens in the country or at its border as well. Then Sri Lanka recognizes India as a true reliable friend, said the Paris. Then Sri Lanka to launch its own Aadhaar. So all these both these developments, it's about Sri Lanka as well, our neighboring nation. Earlier we had seen that Sri Lanka is in a economic emergency kind of a situation. So earlier also we had provided LOC, that is a letter of credit, line of credit to Sri Lanka, as providing a loan to them so that the petrol prices in the country is at its peak, and even they are in need of dollars. They are in need of, because they are facing an economic emergency in the country. So now Sri Lanka had said that they'll be launching their own Aadhaar card, just like India, and Sri Lanka is the counterpart, because Harshvardhan Shringla, our foreign secretary, had also met his Sri Lankan counterpart. So both these nations, especially Sri Lanka, has stated that they recognize India as a true and reliable friend whenever we see any sort of problematic situation. And our foreign minister has also discussed about the recent issue with respect to fishermen, what we have seen in the Tamil Nadu and Kerala coast as well. Okay. So herein we end the discussion of both the newspapers. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.